I'm going to start with 2 caveats. One, I think I'm funny, and I know I'm not, but I appreciate sympathy laughs as we go. 2, I might swear. I'm going to try not to, but I'm quite a sweary person, so apologies in advance if I do. So thank you as well for having me today. Thank you for inviting me. Oh, I can fix it. Okay, so this is me. So I normally start these by saying, hi, my name is Katherine, and I help businesses and brands of all shapes and sizes from all over the world get tangible results from their social media. I'm going to start a little bit differently today. Hi, my name is Katherine George. Come on in. I am a social media director. I suffer from depression, anxiety. I have complex PTSD from an abusive relationship, and I have something called Trogan syndrome. So my job really doesn't work well for me. But I started my career as a social media manager before it was really a thing. I used to get laughed out of many rooms, and now I am a partner with Meta, so Facebook, Instagram. I'm a Meta lead trainer. I train on behalf of Facebook, Instagram. I'm a TikTok partner, Pinterest partner. So I really know and understand these platforms inside, outwards, backwards, forwards. And that means I know the algorithms. I know how they work, and I know how they affect us all. So hopefully, oh no, I'm not having any luck today. Okay, so hands up, who uses social media, right? We're going to do this platform at a time. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Oh, okay. Threads? No, Threads really isn't working very well, is it? Okay, TikTok. Okay, LinkedIn. Discord. Ah, yes, got a gamer in the room. Twitch. Okay, anyone on any dating apps? They use the same algorithms. Okay, so I think that's them all. I have probably missed some. So now I want you all to just take a minute and see how that makes you feel. You don't have to answer this, but I will. They make me feel like shit. And I'm a social media director. It is my job. I go into work at 9 o'clock every morning and I log into all of these platforms. On top of that, I'm also an influencer, which still blows my mind. But I am an influencer. I get paid by brands to talk about them. And I'm a brand ambassador. It is my job to be on these platforms, and God, it makes me feel like crap. I can't go onto LinkedIn because it makes me feel so inadequate. To date, I've won 45 awards, every award possible in my sector. I turned over like $500,000 last year. I work with some of the biggest brands in the UK, and it still makes me feel inadequate. So I often ask myself throughout the working day, and I ask the team in the room, why do we actually do this? And it's really okay to sit there and think to yourselves, actually, why am I doing this? Why am I on social? And you guys need to start to get into the habit of, before you pick up your phones, think, well, actually, why am I picking up my phone? Why am I doing this? If it makes me feel shit, maybe I shouldn't be. Because social media is a big black hole. So what it does and what it is phenomenally good at doing is hooking you in, right? Who's ever gone down a TikTok black hole? Picked up your phone and 3 hours later realised you're still on TikTok? Looking at kittens or something? Hopefully you're looking at kittens. You'll all hear about my TikTok throughout this course and be like, wow, she's boring, but I love it. So what you look at, what you search for, what you view, that is what it creates. Social is an echo chamber, but it doesn't only reflect what you're looking at and what you're paying attention to. It can actually reflect your mood. It can understand what you're going through. And what it does is it sucks you in and it amplifies you. Your social media is anything you make it. So my partner is a massive conspiracy theorist. He's great in every other way, so I deal with it. But if I look at his social, all I see is conspiracy theories. So if anyone here just looks at pictures of very young, thin, beautiful women, that is all you'll see. If anyone looks at otters a lot, highly recommend Otter News on Facebook, you will see more and more cute animals and cute pictures. But I have to stress what a big black hole it is, and that is their idea. They bring you in, they hook you in, they suck you in. Has anyone heard the analogy of if the product is free, you are the product? So that is what every social channel is. You are the product. These networks are selling your information, your time, your eyes, and your attention for profit. So yes, we all go there. That's where our friends are. That's where we hang out. Let's face it, if you're on TikTok, that is where you discover the latest trends, the latest songs, where you should go on holiday, what you should buy. But it is this big black hole. And how do they become this big feedback loop? So the more you put in, the more you put out there, the more you get back. And it is constant, and it is designed to be this constant black hole vortex. So how do they actually work? So this is, I promise, as technical as I will get. So what happens is they are all controlled by machine learning algorithms. So a machine learning algorithm understands you, it learns all about you, and it shows you more and more and more of what you sit and watch and what you scroll through. So, great example is I met Billy on a night out. I think Billy is the best thing since sliced bread, right? I follow him on every social media network, and I like his posts, I check his profile, I go to his account every day. So everything he does, I will see. To all these social networks, Billy is newsworthy to me. I care about Billy. Billy has absolutely no idea who I am. He's never engaged with me, he's never replied, he's never responded. He will never see my content. So is anyone on any of their social channels really hate someone, really dislike someone? The Kardashians normally pop up at this time. And you go, oh God, but all I see is the Kardashians. That's because actually, even if you just hover over it, it classes as an engagement. So these networks think, actually, you hover over the Kardashians, so you must like them, you must be interested. Anything you do on social except scrolling past is classed as an engagement. That is how clever these networks are. So if you even just stop to have a conversation with someone else, it classes that as an engagement, and that is what you will see more of. Anything else, a like, a comment, a share, a dark social share, that just means you share it in messages, that classes as even higher engagement. So the more and more you do, that is the more and more that you'll see. It is important to remember that in addition to all of this, we are putting ourselves out there. So has anyone ever read any of the T's and C's of social networks? Okay, don't. They're absolutely terrifying. But you are giving it full permission to see who you talk to, who you message, what kind of conversations you have. TikTok has rights to everything on your phone, basically. They are getting tighter and tighter. There is more legislation coming in. But you are giving these networks free access not only to your most personal device, but actually your headspace. But the great news is you can train these algorithms, and you can make your social media a really lovely place. But before I talk about that, I do just need to mention that they are really addictive, and this isn't your fault. So do you know every time you get an engagement on social media, you get an endorphin hit equal to a line of crack cocaine? Big study from Harvard University published that years ago. And actually, this is getting worse. Every time you scroll on your phone, this isn't just through social, but any type of scrolling, you get a dopamine hit equal to having sex. Phones and social especially is becoming one of the most addictive things in the world. And a really sad fact is when I searched addiction on Canva to get this picture, the top pictures were all people chained to their phones. So it isn't your fault that you like to just scroll. Actually, it's really natural. We've been programmed into that. And some people in this room, that is all you've ever known. I'm going to show my age now. I was born before the internet was on phones. And actually, you can see a real change. And it is affecting us. It's affecting attention spans. It's affecting self-esteem. It's affecting everything we do in our lives. It's not your fault, but understanding that actually this is an addiction. Going onto your phone, scrolling through social is really, really addictive. So understand that and start to treat it like that, especially if it's making you feel like shit. So now I've kind of brought the tone down. The next thing I want to flag about is who's ever gone through their social and gone, oh, they have the best life. And my life is not that exciting. Everyone, right? The second you're on social, you are comparing everyone else's vanity to your sanity. Guess what? No one ever puts on Instagram, oh, I had a really shit day today. No one ever puts on Facebook, this is how I look first thing in the morning. Or they might do, but they're normally very heavily made up and with lots of filters. The second you see something on social, you need to remember that you are comparing someone else's very best life to what is happening in your personal reality at that moment. A great example I once saw is friends went on holiday without me, bastards. And they shared this awesome picture of them having a wonderful time. And I was like, oh my God, I feel like crap. And they came back and they were like, we literally had the worst time. Their tent flooded. I think at one point it blew away. They ran out of money. Like the whole thing was a disaster. So I was comparing their vanity to what I thought it would be. I have to flag when we look at pictures of people now, we have to be aware that over 90% of pictures we see of people on social are filtered. So people don't actually look like the way they perceive. And it's just another way of making us feel crap quietly. I don't know if anyone has encountered this, but you've met an influencer in real life and they look nothing like they look online. It happens all the time. It's really common practice because everyone wants to share their Instagram life. So an interesting element is when we go to Instagram, more than the other networks, actually our super ego takes over. So anyone who's ever read anything about Freud, your super ego is like the very best version of you. That actually controls your Instagram. So it controls what you're posting as well as what you're responding to. So when you are scrolling through these channels, please, please don't compare your real life to everyone else's vanity, because that is what you are doing. And if you don't believe me, please watch these. So actually this was a really long list, but if you go to YouTube and watch these, it will show you the rest. And Dove do a phenomenal job of actually showing this is what people are, this is what real beauty looks like, this is what real beauty is. And if you do nothing else, please watch the Dove reverse selfie, because that really showcases what we are all doing to ourselves and how we are getting sucked in. The Dove Real Beauty sketches is also really interesting. It's quite long, it's about 6 minutes, but it does portray how harsh we all are on ourselves and just gives you a little bit of thought regarding that. So, now I've told you all the scary shit. How do you conquer your social media? How do you master it? And I promise it is possible. I think if it wasn't, I definitely still wouldn't be doing my job and I probably would have had a breakdown. And all you have to do is think of it like an unruly puppy. We need to set boundaries. We need to get clear with it. We need to teach it to stop peeing on the carpet. We need to be really tough on it because we can make it actually a really awesome place. And if we go to TikTok for entertainment, we go to YouTube for entertainment, we go to Pinterest for inspiration, you can train them so they tick those boxes and they become awesome places. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we are going to train our social media platforms. Now, this always takes a little while. TikTok is the hardest. When I first onboarded onto TikTok, I just saw lots of very pretty, very young girls dancing, which made me feel old and like a terrible dancer. And until then, I thought I was Shakira. And what else made me feel bad is, like, in my age, when we were all like 14, we were all doing like the S Club 7 dances and things like that. And now, oh my God, you guys are smashing it. So if you are using social, find videos that make you happy and engage with them. And I mean, especially while you're training your social, go nuts on it. Like it, comment it, send it to your best mate, send it to yourself in Messenger, send it on WhatsApp. And I can get these slides to you guys as well if you want this as a list. So make sure you go, I like this, I'm going to hyper engage with it, because then the algorithms go, oh, they really like that. The first thing I did this with on TikTok was a girl who owns ducklings. And And now my TikTok's full of really cute ducks. It's a lovely place now. If you see anything that makes you feel shit, hide it. So actually, it's easier to do this on all of the other networks. So TikTok, just scroll really quick. Scroll, just ignore it. On everything else, there's 3 little dots on every post, and you can actively feed back on it. And you can go, I don't want to see this post. So tell the platforms you don't want to see it. And interestingly, on Google, so YouTube, and on Meta, so Facebook, Instagram, you can actually go into your settings and go, I don't want to see this stuff. So I've blocked everything on parenting, alcohol, gambling, anything I don't want to see. And actively do that, train it, because it will become a better place. Unfollow people that make you feel shit. You don't have to unfriend them. You can just unfollow them so you don't see their content. I've done this with my cousin Charlotte. No one tell her. But I just couldn't handle it. She always looked great and knew how to pose. And I was like, actually, I can't follow you. So we're still Facebook friends. I can still go and look if I need to. But actually, I just don't see it anymore. I've done this on every platform. I've done it with people at work who I really like, I really admire. But oh my God, their vanity makes me feel rubbish about myself, so I just can't see it. So I've unfollowed them. Our friendship is still fine, we're still connected, it ticks all the boxes, but I am not seeing it. Anything you see that you're like, I don't think this should be on there, or this is negative. So I'm talking about the videos that encourage people to grind their teeth off. I'm talking about the really dodgy stuff. Report it, please report it, because that's the only way this stuff gets taken down. If you're like, I need a bit of headspace away from someone or an account, snooze it, and never ever be afraid to block it. Just block the account. If it's constantly making you feel bad, do yourself a favor, do yourself a massive act of self-care and just block it. With TikTok, I want you all to turn off the sound when you go on there. It's in the settings, it's really easy to do. TikTok is less addictive if you have to put the sound on. It's a really strange phenomena that happens on TikTok, that the sound really hooks you in. If you turn off the sound, you will find you watch less. And actually, it's much easier to figure out what you do and don't like without getting sucked in. Go in and edit all your settings. Be really tough on yourself and go, I don't want to see this, I don't want to see that. And basically teach your social media what makes you happy. Because if you can teach it that, it does become this really awesome place. I'm happy to show anyone my TikTok or my Instagram or my Facebook, as long as you promise not to judge me. But mine is now just full of really happy animals. And one lady who talks about history on TikTok. So I've made it this really awesome place. And for anyone in the room who goes, well, actually, you know, I'm an influencer, I need to see this. So I'm actually an autoimmune-fluencer. It's a new phrase I've termed. On TikTok, I talk about my Sjogren's. It's a really rare autoimmune disease. I get loads of DMs about it. It doesn't matter that all of my content talks about Sjogren's, because I don't need to see that. I want to see the cute animals that make me more likely to go on the platform. The people who follow me see content about Sjogren's. That's fine. What I'm following and what I'm engaging with doesn't affect anything about your content or where your content goes. That is like one of the big white lies you hear about social. And everyone thinks, oh no, I have to engage with these, so I'm seen. That is bollocks. You don't have to engage with anything at all to get your social content out there. And then finally, you need to train yourself. And this is the hardest thing, right? Who's picked up their phone today without even knowing? Yeah. Now, you don't have to put your hands up to this, but I know at least 50% of people in this room play on their phone on the toilet. That's what everybody does. So you need to learn to train yourself to only pick up your phone and only go to social if you've got a reason why. Again, so I'm a social media director. I log into Facebook first thing in the morning. I have to go to different organic pages. Probably 75% of the time I go to Facebook, I end up scrolling. So now I have to make a note of the reason why I go there, and I force myself to only go to that page. So this is a hard thing to do, but make sure you go, yep, this is my reason why, this is why I'm going here. I want you to turn off all of your push notifications. Do this for everything. Do this for the news, do it for eBay. No one needs your attention that quickly for anything. If no one does anything else, turning off your push notifications on your phone is one of the healthiest things you can do. And leave messages on, leave phone calls on, you know, that's fine. But you do not need to have notifications on all of the time. And I would personally mute them on group chats as well, because no one needs that kind of stress. Never compare yourself and your reality to someone else's vanity. And if you are looking at something and you go, wow, I wish I looked like that, go and watch the Dove Sketches video and just go, actually, you are really beautiful. Why are you comparing yourself to this person if it's making you feel like that? Why are you comparing how you actually look with someone who's airbrushed and faked and filtered, and it is their job to post? Always remember that. Set time limits. This is my favourite feature on my phone. I have a screen time limit on my phone, because not only is all this bad for your mental health, it also really screws up your eyes. So I have time limits. I'm allowed on social media on my phone for 10 minutes a day, and then my phone locks me out completely. I've actually gone to the next level and don't have any social media networks on my personal phone at all. Don't have any of the apps. I've got them on my work phone because, of course, it is my career. But setting time limits does help. It helps you set boundaries for yourself. And you'd be amazed, actually, when your phone goes blank and goes time taken, it does always make you think when you go, oh no, extend for 5 minutes, because your phone checks in with you. And there is a new Apple update coming, which is going to get tighter on this, so you can be really good with yourself, really boundaried with yourself. And it will let you know if your phone is too close to your face and may potentially damage your iPhone. So I'm really excited for that update. Get very excited by very boring things. If something's making you feel like shit, close the app. Scroll past it or close the app. It's that simple. And always make sure you're giving yourself time away from your screen each day. Go out, see the real world, do yoga, meditate, just set real boundaries. Because actually as well, I've got to be honest, you're wasting your life if you're just sitting there scrolling through social. It's not that exciting. It's people like me trying to sell to you. So I have got a slide about questions, but I think we're going to pick them up this afternoon anyway. But the last thing I just kind of wanted to say is one, I'm the easiest person in the world to find. So if anyone has any questions that they don't want to talk to me or in the room or today about, please slide into my DMs. I will get back to you, but only during working hours. So it will take me a little while. I'm not being rude. I just don't look at my phone at the weekends. And food for thought is, so I'm a social media director. It is literally my career. I would not use any social networks if it wasn't my job. Full stop, end of, I wouldn't do it. So that is always something I just like to make people aware of as well. So hopefully that's been helpful and I've not just been really negative to you all. Is that all right?
Yeah, thank
you so
much.